Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Staten Island Soccer Report. As always, alongside me, Frank Tricomi. How you doing, Frank?
Great to be here again, John.
How's everything going? I think with the topic of the show, we're going to go with the March Madness, and it's been madness for the last couple hours for me.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I hear that one.
It's been crazy just trying to get here with all the stuff going on. So what's going on in the world of youth soccer? We'll start off with Staten Island soccer. Anything?
The only thing I know of right now is I know one of my teams, the Starlets, they started practicing a few weeks ago at I believe it's the Greek Church on Richmond.
Is that an indoor practice, outdoor?
Yeah, it's indoor. We're sharing it with another team.
Okay.
Between Great Hills and St. Charles.
Right.
I guess the guy's kind of running a little clinic there type thing.
It's always a good thing.
So
yeah. Why not? It's always a good thing.
So just to kind of get them going, normally, personally, you like to start outdoors sometime in March. The weather really hasn't called for it.
It's still a little chilly.
We locked up a place for indoors for the month of March, once a week,
All right.
for a couple hours. So take it.
That's good. Yeah. So, any kind of thing you're working on? What's going on right now? Since it's only the first couple of weeks of training.
Just some drills indoor.
Anything in particular you're working on? Nothing?
No, nothing in particular.
Everything overall? the
first couple of weeks, you're just trying to get them acclimated.
Right.
Obviously, it's a little bit of a layoff if you don't play.
Okay.
At least all winter. Or I think they were actually in the Winter Classic. I'm not sure how they did. I couldn't make it that day, meaning the Starlets.
They're in it?
They were in the Winter Classic, and I believe they are in the March Madness.
Oh, they are. So we're going to see them. I'll see them.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't.
Oh, man.
I can't make it.
What do you mean you can't make it? I don't understand. You signed up for soccer. You can't make it? Brian, we got to get Brian behind the glass there. Brian, do you want to coach? You want to coach? He's saying no. He's shaking his head no. All right. Because I know Brian would make every practice, every game, every event going on.
Brian's a retired coach.
Yeah, so he was forced to retire. So anyway, the U10 girls, I believe, and boys going on this Sunday coming up.
Yes.
Right? That's the indoor.
Yes.
They got a tournament at Petrides and a tournament at the other school. St. Dorothy's Academy, right?
Great.
Right.
That's great to hear because that obviously means that more teams are going in.
I think that's the reason.
Me personally.
But how can Richie be in two places at the same time? Or is it different time slots?
Oh, is Richie running it?
Richie was there. He was at St. Dorothy's. Well, getting back to I refereed a tournament this past Sunday.
Okay.
Which was the U12 girls at St. Dorothy's, and Rich was there. Richie Nellis is the director at Petrides there, right? One of the directors there, and he was there along with Bill, president of Staten Island Soccer League, and a couple other guys from the board. So I'm just figuring if the two tournaments are going on at the same time, I don't know how that works out.
I mean, I guess maybe they go back and forth. Traditionally in years past, all the years that we've been involved, Richie was at Petrides, but then again, they haven't. Yeah,
they used Petrides, the one gym for the whole league.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm going to see if I could pull it up here during the show. We'll see what the time slots are for this coming weekend. Or maybe it's just a Saturday, Sunday where he could be at both places.
Yeah, maybe.
It might be. I haven't really looked at the dates, but I know the girls because my daughter's involved with the girls. She's playing on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
And you're saying that your team is also in the tournament, but unfortunately I'm not going to see you there.
Yeah.
I would have loved to go head-to-head. Imagine. Oh, the day is coming. The day is coming when you and I will go head-to-head. Of course, I'm not a coach, but still a parent on the opposing team that you're going to be playing.
Well,
that's coming.
Who knows?
It'll happen.
Right now, Your daughter's team is in D1.
We're in D1, but that don't mean nothing. No, that team can easily fall to D2 next year if they don't have a good season.
It's like I always say, there's a lot of teams that just bounce back and forth,
right,
and aren't necessarily, going to stay either in Division 1 or 2. The only teams that I would say are a lock to stay in Division 1 are teams like we always talk about.
We know those
Treaties,
teams.
Good Counsel, and I think those are the only two that are like
pretty much,
really set. And again, D2, the only teams that I would see that are really set on being there are probably, unfortunately, the Our Lady Queen of Peace Cardinals. They seem to be the other Patrides team, Patrides Pride.
Right, okay.
And there may be one other team.
And
everybody else is subject just to kind of go back and forth.
Like I said, now, this Richmond Town Lightning team is, I haven't seen much of them. They've survived. When I say survived, I mean meaning they stayed up in Division 1 with a 3-2 and maybe 3 record. I think they only won 3 games, so they're borderline. So they could drop down to Division 2 in the fall, and that'll present a matchup between you and I, which I don't know if you. Well, again, when I'm not coaching, so it's not really head to head, but it is in a way. So anyhow, getting back to the March Madness and the dates, you know what? Richie can be at both locations because looking at the schedule, March 23rd at Patrides. It's U9 girls are 1 to 4. And the U10 is 4 to 7. And the boys play. You know what? The boys play. U8 boys play on the same day, 1 to 4 and 4 to 7. U12 boys.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's got people everywhere anyway. Keep it up, but
I'm sure.
But it's good, like you said. More teams are probably involved here, and they got a Saturday, March 29 overflow bracket. I don't know what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah, I'm not exactly.
Maybe they'll have a coaches versus referee game. I'd definitely love to play in that. Or maybe a coaches versus parents, or a coaches versus whoever walks in. You know what I mean, Brian? Like maybe coaches versus producers or something.
Cameraman.
Anybody. So. Well, it looks like they have an empty slot there, so it's good.
Yeah, I always wonder what that overflow was for.
It's a good question. If I see him this weekend or anybody from the league there, I'll ask him.
Because obviously, like, if you got too many, let's say, for argument's sake, U10 teams, you can't have them play on different days. So how does that?
Well, I tell you, the getting back to the tournament that I refereed alongside my fellow referee, it's a 2-man system with the refereeing in the indoor. It was a great tournament. It really was a super tournament. U12 girls. I mean, you had I don't even know how many teams. Maybe 8. I'm hearing a little of a feedback just in case. And I think 8 teams maybe. There was 8 teams, something like that.
Okay.
You play your group stage, right? Everyone plays each other a couple of times. And I don't even know because as soon as I got onto the court, onto the field at 4 o'clock, I didn't get off until like 7:30, almost 8. I didn't, cause it's non-stop game.
Yeah.
The kids and the coaches get a break. The referees have to stand there and do all the games, back to back to back, and belly to belly to belly. So.
And that clock just keeps running.
Yeah, that's great. You know what? I noticed that too. If you're a coach in this thing, you got to get your team ready because every team, every start of every game, they lost at least 20 seconds, sometimes more. Okay, so you got to be ready when you're playing in this tournament. You got to have the team's got to come off, and the other team's got to come right on.
Yeah.
So getting back to a great tournament, it really was. The U12s. You phase out all the bad teams. They're gonna eliminate each other, and you come down to the 2 best teams in the tournament played in the final. The final was Good Counsel versus Notre Dame, and the game went to penalty kicks.
Really?
It was only 1-1, and it went into PKs. And I believe, because we didn't keep score of the rounds, it was the league kept the scores of the shots and stuff. I believe it seemed like it went to extra penalty kicks also. That's how tight these two teams are. And I've done these two teams on the outdoor stage, and same thing. You got a 1-2-0 or 1-2-1 close game. These two teams are great in the U12 bracket. So, congratulations to Good Counsel and also to Notre Dame. A great tournament. I was involved in, and I was happy to be there. Fans were going wild at times. It was just a fun 3 hours. My legs were killing me after, but I'm good.
See, that's the thing about the indoor tournament, just because of the fact that it's indoor and the noise is contained, it could really get,
When you got
exciting.
when you got all of the teams playing at the same time, like the group stage, so to speak, right? When you got the group stage going, because the gym is packed, everyone's still there. But once teams start getting eliminated, then it just empties out and it's a lot more hollow. But during the group stages is the best time as far as the atmosphere goes, I think. Obviously you got the two teams, you got parents on both sides there, but it's not as if you had all 8 teams in there. But again, great tournament, and they do a great job with this. It's kind of, if I had any kind of say in this thing, I wish they would have like an indoor season instead of just a tournament. I really wish they would do that. I don't know why, maybe gym space or whatever the case is, but you know what? You rent out and you get it done. I really would have loved to see an indoor season.
Well, there was one that I believe was in the works, but it was canceled. I think at the Goodyear Center.
What good is it if it's going to get canceled? And I don't know why. I'm not knocking anything negative about it, but what good is it if it's canceled? Get it done. The kids want. It shows in these tournaments. It shows how many kids want to be involved in it. Okay, especially with the turnout with this tournament. Hey, we got 2 different schools going at it now.
The thing is, would there be enough interest to sustain, let's say, an 8 or 10 game season?
All right, so you don't even have to cut it down, Tate. The outdoor season ends, we're going to say end of November.
Yeah.
All right, let's just go that way, end of November. You take December off.
Yeah.
Right, you come back in the new year. You come back mid-January.
Yeah.
All right? You come back mid-January and you go January, February, and you go right to March, 3 months. All right? And if you have to, you just space it out that way. If you have to give a team a bye, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. You get buys just to stretch it out, and you have a 6-game season.
Yeah.
That's just my idea. But who am I again? So. But I like to have.
You're just the referee.
I'm nobody. I'm the guy that'd love to yell at. So, really, just have like an indoor season instead of these 2 tournaments. Put the 2 tournaments together. Again, just my opinion, and maybe we can have more fun out of it, and kids will love it. I think they'll show up.
Yeah.
A lot of teams are already showing that they're involved. So, all right. So this weekend we got the U10s going.
Yes.
The girls and the boys side too, with the both locations. Other than that, Staten Island Soccer League is. I think the U12s and up started this weekend, or they start
U13.
this week. U13s and up, 13 and 14 start outdoors this coming weekend, and they're all at.
You better take your winter jacket with you guys.
Well, I don't know if it's going
Although
to
I
be
don't
that
think
cold.
it's
I
gonna be
think
that
it's going to warm up a little bit than it is right now. Maybe it's going to hit 50, but it's still, that's perfect soccer weather.
Yeah.
I mean, coming off the winter, you might feel it like it's a little colder because you're coming out of the winter.
Yeah.
But in the summertime, you love that. You would love to have a 50-degree day.
Yeah.
And again, once you're out there and the kids are, once the game starts, you're running. You're not gonna be cold. You're only cold if you're sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
So this weekend the season officially kicks off, or you want to say unofficial? It's official.
I think it's unofficial just because the rest of the league doesn't start.
I'm going to call it official because the league does start. They're part of the league.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go on the limb and say if I'm wrong, someone from the league could call me and say I'm wrong. I'm going to say that the season starts officially this weekend. Why? Because there's games. Our Hollow is going to be packed with games, and the referees are going to be out there reffing the games. So that's just my thing. And that's great. I love this. I couldn't wait to say that the season's all the way.
Yeah.
So I know that the rest of the teams don't get going until, is it?
It's April 5th.
April 5th is
Couple
opening.
weeks.
Opening day. All right. And the reason why they do that is because the graduations and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
And you know what? It was a good idea to kind of stagger it a little
Yeah.
bit because I think it creates more space.
So these teams end in like May instead
like
of
the
June.
beginning of June, yeah.
Like mid-May maybe they'll end. When are graduations at the end of May?
No, they're actually at the end of June, but it just clears things up in case there's any activities.
Yeah.
You know, kids got the prom and
Right. There's a lot of
just
stuff
a whole
going
bunch of other,
going on. So
things going on.
They really needed to start this the older kids a little earlier. So.
Although I don't know how much it does as far as spacing goes.
Right.
Because you 13 and 14 play in a different field. So by having those kids not
No, I think they
play
both
on that
play. They
field.
both play on the big field at Al Hollow. They're on the same field.
13 and 14.
13 and 14.
Does anybody else play on there?
Not
Like
that
12?
No, 12.
Because
well, they might.
That's
I think
my
I've
point.
seen
It's
it.
not
I think.
really- it's freeing up a little bit of the parking lot.
Yeah, I
at
think
these
I've seen
places,
it.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Which is always welcome.
Yeah.
You know, these places are always packed. You know, you're going to see, obviously, like we've been every year, April 5th.
Yeah.
You show up at 11, 12 o'clock at one of these places, Miller Field, Owl Hollow. You might as well just take the bus there.
Yeah. I mean,
You know,
it gets packed. It's good to see. It's good
especially
to see.
at the beginning. You know, it's just that feeling of hope and optimism, and
Yeah.
you get being its first time playing outdoors in a while.
Well, speaking of hope, right? What do you hope to do with your team this season? Well, two of your teams now. You got the boys that are playing U8, right?
Yes.
You're back in U8. You're playing up a year. All your guys are actually 7-year-olds. You're playing against 8-year-olds. And what do you hope to do with the girls' team that you're an assistant coach with?
You know, we saw a lot of improvement down the stretch last year. We struggled
Talking
a little
about the girls?
bit. Yeah, with the girls, with the Starlets, the Great Kill Starlets. We had some trouble at the beginning.
Right.
And then down the stretch, we showed some improvement. Now, if you look at the schedule, we had some of the tougher teams at the beginning and some of the weaker teams down the stretch. So, obviously, you don't want to start banging the drum too much because if you lost to the stronger teams and you beat the weaker teams, you can't really say that you grew all that much. But, you know, I did notice that the girls did have a lot more fun towards. Again, it was the mixture.
Well,
of two teams,
winning cures everything. So
winning is fun.
Winning loves,
so.
girl. Yeah, the kids. Then they know. They know. I mean, obviously, they know when things are not going well. They're not going to come to the practices happy and stuff like that. But once they turn it around, once you get that first one on your belt, or even a tie, when you're losing and you don't lose and it's a tie, but you didn't lose.
Yeah.
I think it just starts turning the whole season around. That's the way we did it.
Yeah.
You know, we struggled our last season with Richmond Town Rush. And, you know, I said to you, we just got to stop the bleeding somehow and just get something positive. Anything positive, you know, it's going to help the team. And that's probably what happened with the Starlets last year. Because I remember in the beginning of the season, things were not going our way at all.
And again, you know, some of it has to do with just luck of the draw.
Yeah.
You know, not to say that the team is going to, you know, the lucky teams win, the skilled teams do win, but it does say something like I said, we played two of the tougher teams in the division first, and we actually had to play them twice, if I'm not mistaken. We
Okay.
played Star of the Sea twice, and we played St. Charles twice.
All right.
Not that they're,
that
the strongest U10 teams ever imaginable.
And I see Brian got the background set up. Thank you, Brian. Great work as always. Good job.
But they were the class of that division for the fall. Yeah. So we, unfortunately, for the Starlets, we had to play both of them twice, and we didn't have 2 games against, let's say, the Our Lady Queen of Peace Cardinals or the Patrides Pride. You have 2 games against each one of them instead of 1 game. Yeah. The record looks a little bit.
Well, you know what? You know what, Frank? I think the schedule maker there, I don't know how they figured that out, but that was a mistake. Again, my opinion, they should have never did back-to-back weeks, the same team. The Star of the Sea team is one of the class teams, and I'll say that because they're coached well, and they've been up in Division One. And I don't know, for whatever reason, they fell back down. Maybe they lost something. But they're back. They showed everyone in Division 2 last season that they're back. And they're not as good as the Patrides and the Dolphins, but they could probably give them a hard time if they could catch them on a day,
Sometimes some years are loaded with good teams, and some years aren't. Yeah. Sometimes
I think
just
that division,
a circumstance.
The U10 girls Division 1 this year is going to be a tough division. It's going to be tough. And I know Patrides has been up there, but they're going to have their hands full because they're going to have another team to contend with, and that's the Starfish.
The thing is, what's going to happen and how, if the third team in that division puts together a run, depending on how many teams are in there, Patrides and the Blue Dolphins, is it?
Yes.
The Good Counsel?
Good Counsel Blue Dolphins,
You know that the 2 of them are probably, if there's an odd number of teams, the 2 of them are going to play each other twice. Right. If one of those teams should happen to win, like let's just say somehow Patrides has a bad day, and the Blue Dolphins are able to slip past them twice. Yeah. Not slip past them; they have hung with them.
You gotta beat
them. But Patrides has just been that much better.
Exactly.
But that could knock one of those teams out.
And if the viewers are wondering how we know so much, maybe there's a coach out there from that division watching. How we know so much about this division is because we've coached in it with all these teams for the past 5 years. So we know everyone up and down.
Yeah.
So
we
could give an insight on that division because we've played them so many times.
But the thing is, it's just some teams, if you got let's say a third pretty good team, they don't have to play those 2 teams twice. Right. They only play them once. So technically those 2 teams could knock each other out, and then a third team could just slip in.
Well, this is what I'm saying. This is what I mean about Division 1 being tough, and Patrides is going to have their hands full. This might be the biggest test yet for them because you're going to have the Dolphins giving them their fits, and then you're going to have the Star of the Sea team that's going to give them fits too a little bit, you hope.
I'm not believing Star of the Sea yet. I got to really see them compete in Division 1. We've seen them compete in Division 2.
Yeah, well, that's fair to say.
We've seen them rise to the top. We've seen them reach Division 1 for a couple of years now, going back and forth. But I don't think there's been 2 consecutive seasons where they've been in Division 1.
No, I don't think so either, but we'll see. We'll see. I have confidence in them and that they're going to have a good season. I have confidence that they will have a good season. So, that being said, I want to do one more thing with Staten Island Soccer League, all right, and go down, or just maybe out of all the teams that we know, right? Yes. Oh, we got a caller. Okay, you're on Staten Island Soccer Report.
Hello.
Hey, who's this? Who's this on the line?
It's Gabriella.
Oh, Gabriella, identify yourself, please.
Yeah.
What team do you play for? I don't think she knows. What team do you play for?
The Richmond Town Lightning.
Richmond Town Lightning. Okay, do you want to give us any information about the Lightning? What's going on?
What did you say?
Any information about the Lightning? What's going on with the Lightning this season?
Well, we're having the March Madness coming up on Sunday.
Okay, the March Madness coming up on Sunday. Very good. Are you doing any practicing yet? Are you training?
I'm going to with Demi Jean.
Oh, you are? Okay, that's a... what about your team? Anything going on with your team yet?
Well, the March Madness and...
Yeah, no practices?
That's really...
Okay. All right, Gabrielle, any last words you want to share with us? We miss you. We miss you in the studio tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we miss you here. We need to have you for the end of the show to do the dance.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, any last words, Gabriella?
Yeah. I would like to know which soccer team that is like the best that you like.
Oh, that I like the team that I like the most is the team that's right behind me. It says right there, Italia.
Oh, okay.
That's the team that I like the most. Yes.
And what team does Frank like the most?
Right there.
That's it.
Right there, Italian.
Yeah. All right, just do me one favor, Gabriella. I just want to let everyone know that you did get your 100% attendance certificate today, right? Along with your sister. That's a good accomplishment.
Yes, I did.
That shows that you're dedicated and you're like an iron. You know, you're in school every day.
Yeah, I've been in school from January till now.
Excellent. All right.
We heard a couple of days your dad had to take you by sled.
What?
He pulled the sled between you and your sister.
A couple of snow days we had to take the sled to school, but that's okay as long as we got in.
Yeah.
That's all that matters, as long as you're there. All right, Gabriella, have a good night. We'll talk to you soon. I love you, kid.
Okay, bye.
Good night, Gab.
All right, so
That was
yeah.
Gabriella. Was she the leading scorer for the Lightning last year?
Once again,
in
that's
that shortened season.
Gabriella, the star. Yeah, probably the leading goal scorer. You know what? I can't say that because I don't know what the real stats are. But I can say this: the all-time leading goal scorer for the Richmond Town Rush is Gabriella. She scored the most goals, and unfortunately, that team is extinct. But it's always getting brought up. We did a show a couple weeks ago. We did on Brian LaPiola's show. That's probably still airing now, I believe. Yes, on Monday nights, Channel 34 at 6:30. And if you could catch that show next Monday, you'll see the legend of Richmond Town.
Unfortunately, I wasn't invited guest on that show, but I couldn't make it due to other commitments. I would have loved to have been a part.
I mean, I tell you, that was a classic. I love doing that show. I had Gabriella on it. Ariana is not part of the Rush, but she was there. But the topic, the legend of Richmond Town Rush, I mean, excellent. It was a good show. Monday night, 6:30, Channel 34. All right, one more thing I want to close out the second half of the show with the professional sports soccer going on and maybe a couple of Nick things, you know, because we had a big press conference today in MSG. But anyhow, I really want to close out with the U10 division because we're very familiar with it, right? Like, who do you think out of all the teams? Like, let's just talk about the top. We'll go top 3 coaches. The top 3 coaches from the U10 division.
U10
girls.
Division 1 and 2.
Both all together. The top 3 coaches in both divisions. You just U10, straight out U10.
I definitely put the Blue Dolphins coach.
You're putting him at number 1.
Right at the top.
All right. Wow.
Right
We
at
got to
the
get
top.
him on the show. I
You
mean, we
can
really got to
tell
make some contacts here.
The way that
Maybe, Brian, can you call up a lady of good counsel and try and get him on the phone or something? Can we get him on the show? We don't even know his name. We got to get him on the show. All right.
you could tell that, you know, besides wins and losses,
Right.
you know, they come to the field, the team knows what they're doing. They don't got to be reminded.
Yeah.
They just
Okay, who's number
They
2?
know.
Who's number 2 on your list?
For obvious reasons, you got to put Petrides in there.
Okay.
Obviously, you get a team that's been
Yeah.
dominant for that long. Another team, very well coached.
Right.
It's got a number of travel players.
Well,
Knows what they're doing. Doesn't need to be reminded constantly. And they just get right down to it. You don't constantly hear the coach yelling and screaming or even talking. They know.
Right.
The coach has 2 words. They know.
Well, that's
that's
half
the
of the
key.
recipe right there. Yeah.
The less you say, sometimes the better off you are.
Well, just what, Frank? What else you got? Who's the third? Who's the third best coach in your mind at the U10 level for the girls?
Obviously, you gotta kind of, I guess, stay away from Division II because.
Oh.
Because.
Not necessarily, because you had a pretty good coach in there last season that graduated to Division I.
Yeah, that's true too. I don't know.
The Comets, are they in 2? They still in 2?
I don't know. They're one of those teams that go back.
They got a pretty good coach on that team also.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and they were like the season before they were like in the bottom.
I think you have a couple. I think you have the Comets.
Yeah.
I think you have possibly the Starfish.
Right.
I know you have the Lightning.
Okay.
With Coach Vic. They seem to be.
Yeah.
On their way again.
All right, I'll name
not
you
at the same level as the other 2. But
I'll name you the top 3 teams that I think are very well coached, at the U10 level. All right, the top 3 in my opinion, I'm gonna put Petrides up there. And the only reason why I'm giving them the edge over the Blue Dolphins is because they've got the titles. They've won. That's the edge that they got over the Blue Dolphins. That's my thinking. And not to take anything away from the Good Counsel. I mean, they could probably go neck and neck, but they've come on top of Petrides. And when they played them last season, they won the division. It could have been a coaching strategy that put them on top. I wasn't there to see every game, but that's my, just my pick. So we got Petrides, Good Counsel. And I'm going to, my third team is going to probably be, that is a tough one, but Star of the Sea maybe would probably, Brian is yelling and he took the words out of my mouth probably. I hope he doesn't make me look bad this season by having a flop, but yeah, I think I would have to go with the Star of the Sea.
I don't know if I trust Brian Lapierre there. He may be a little partial to Star of the Sea since he's a parishioner there.
St. Joseph, same time. I mean, listen, they all do a great job, but sometimes you separate. You got different levels. They're all volunteers, so we're all trying to do a good job with the kids and teach. So, but there's certain teams that stand out than others.
It
is what it is.
Biased. He's a parishioner at some of these places.
It is what it is with the teams, Frank. You're gonna have teams that are gonna dominate for years and teams that are not. So anyhow, I think we could close the book for this week on the league. I think we covered just about everything. There's not really much going on yet. By the time we do a next show, we'll have some scores with the U13s and stuff. Speaking of next shows, we have a special coming on March 25th. We're gonna have a full team. It's a U15. Not gonna say it's a travel team, but not gonna say where they're from. But they'll be on. We're gonna do a March 25th. It's not gonna be live, so look for a special. We'll definitely announce it on April 1st, which will be our next live show. So we'll announce, hopefully we'll know by then, when the special is going to be on. If you do want to be part of the audience at the taping for our March 25th, you definitely contact me. Brian will put that information up later on. And we could, if you want to be part of the audience for that, maybe we could, we'll see what we can do with that. So, going forward.
So now your next show is April 1st, right?
Yeah, April 1st.
Live?
That's going to be live. April 1st will be the next
it's got to
match.
be determined who's going to be the April Fool.
Oh, we'll see. We got a few people. Since we're on that topic, we definitely have a new day. We used to go live Wednesdays. We're now going live the first and third Tuesday of the month. Live. First and third Tuesday at 8:30 live every month. And of course, look for specials, because we're going to do a special on the 25th of this month, and we'll definitely keep you posted on that. Any team that wants to come on the show, or any player watching the show now, if you want to get your team on, have your coach contact the show. My information is on. Brian will show it. Brian should be able to post that later on at the end of the show, my email address or even my cell phone number. Or you could just Facebook me at Solo Body, SOLOBARI, Facebook. You can contact me that way if you want to get on to the show, or if you want to have your team come on the show. We're all about soccer. We're all about soccer. We don't speak about SpongeBob or anything like that. That's definitely out. That's not for this show. We could do a special on SpongeBob one day. Anyhow, we got about 20 minutes to go. I think it's time to hit the big boys. All right, we're going to start off with, let's start off, let's stick with the girls. We got the U17. Not too many people know probably about this either. I don't even know if you knew about this. Does Brian know that there's a World Cup going on right now? No, he doesn't. That's because he's not informed. But anyway, if you watch this show, you'll know. Brian, U17 Women's World Cup going on right now. Italy's playing Costa Rica. They're playing. I believe they kick off about 9:30 tonight. I think it's 9:30.
So the viewers have just enough time.
Yeah.
To finish watching this show and then switch over.
Yeah. So anyhow, we have. It's only they only played one game, U17 Women's World Cup, and as you can see here, Frankie, was that really not much right now to talk about. Everyone's played a game. Venezuela. Actually, is tied with Italy in Group A. Group B, you got Ghana leading the way over Germany, which is a little bit of a surprise right now. Canada and Korea in that group. In Group C, we got Japan and New Zealand. Japan leads the group. I think the Japan women are pretty good, and you could see it because coming up from U17 to the big club that beat the United States women's team for the goal.
Absolutely.
The World Cup, right? So, and then we got Group D, Mexico and Nigeria tied 3 points apiece. So that wraps up the World Cup, right? Now, let's get to, what do you got there, Frank? Oh, okay.
The director over here, Brian LaPiella, is having a good laugh behind the glass over here.
Yeah, it's one of the old pictures that we, as the Richmond Town Rush visited the CSI Dolphins for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That was a great day. And I tell you, the girls loved interacting with the CSI soccer team there. That was just really, once in a lifetime. It's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
There's no more Rush, so that won't happen again. Frank, what do you got here, Frank? Well, you got some Italian news or what? What's going on with the Italians here?
Yeah, I got an interview with the Italian coach, the Italian national team.
Right, what's going on over there?
Just a few reactions and some comments on his team, basically.
Yeah.
On particularly the goalkeeper, Buffon, on how basically new players just need to watch what he does, that he leads by example.
Yeah.
And they don't need to be told.
No.
Just watch them.
Right.
Watch them and you'll know.
That's exactly, when you get to a certain age, there's nothing you can tell these guys, really.
You just know. He says looks like he says on Mario Balotelli here, he's just got to realize his potential and he wastes his energy,
Yep.
on things that, so.
That's exactly what he has to do, Balotelli. And if you watched our last show, we showed the clip of that goal he scored from about 40 yards out.
Yes.
Right? Didn't even look at the net. He just took the shot. He knew where it was going, right in the corner. Again, he's got to stay focused. He's got to, speaking of Mario Balotelli, stay focused and realize his potential, because he could probably take it to another level than what he's doing now. And again, Italy's going to go as far as Super Mario takes him in this World Cup coming up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guarantee it.
Absolutely.
Guarantee. I mean, he's a powerhouse as a forward. So, anything else? Pirlo's like he scored another great goal. I wish I had the clip. We'll probably have it for the next show. I'm gonna find it somewhere. And bend it like Beckham type goal.
Yeah.
To win the game for Juventus. Classy. And with these guys, well, him, Buffon, and maybe De Rossi, these guys are gonna be missed when this World Cup is over, because they're gonna be done. And to replace guys like them, legends, it's not going to be easy. It's a transition that they're going in through right now, but it's going to be worse. And people are not thinking about it now, maybe. But once this cup is over, it's going to hit the Italian fans harder, because they're done. These guys are done. As far as the international level.
It's amazing. Speaking about the international level, these guys don't really have that long of a shelf life comparative to how many World Cups that they could play in. If you start in your 20s, you maybe get 3 or 4 World Cups out of a guy, being that it's every 4 years.
That's if he's
and it
good.
Goes within the blink of an eye.
Yeah. But don't forget, you got to get selected every 4 years.
Wow.
It's not guaranteed. You could say maybe a couple people guaranteed. You got to be a real star player, to be guaranteed a spot. Mm-hmm. But a lot of players, the Italian guy, the coach, he said, you're not going to be on this team if you don't play any friendlies. Meaning, if you're not playing in any warm-up games leading up to the World Cup, you're not on the team. You're done. Meaning, because, what's that guy's name? Rossi, he got hurt. Young player, forward. He was injured. I don't think he's playing. He can't play. So he's going to miss a World Cup. It was a good young player for the Italians. So, again, it's not guaranteed. Like you said, some guys get lucky. They play 4 of them.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Buffon doesn't want to give up his position there. But unfortunately, you know what? It won't shock me. Brian, there you go. Brian's putting up the pictures of the past, of the legend. And there he is, a classic shot with the clipboard. It won't shock me if Gigi Buffon plays 1 more World Cup. It really won't. It won't shock me. He's 36 now. So you could play at 40 if you still got something left in the tank. You probably can. It's been done before. So that's why I'm saying that. So anyhow, Frank, moving on, we got about 13 to go. What else with the Italian team? That's about it, right?
Just on their rival Spain.
They lost that game recently to Spain, but it was a game that you really can't take much out of, because the Italians had a lot of young players in there, and so did Spain. They gave up that's going way back now. Brian went back about 37 years, maybe 35 years, something like that.
Put you in the time machine there.
Yeah, he definitely did. Boy. Okay, right there, square in the middle there. Let me see. Where is it? Right there. Right where I'm pointing at. That's Benny Fazio. He's usually one of the good viewers that we have here and calls up. And, I'm right. I think I'm right behind him. With that bad hair day I think I had. That's a bad hair day. And I didn't lose my hair anyway, so it's shaved by choice. That's for sure. It didn't wave goodbye to me, so to speak. So, anyhow.
I like to see you with some hair. That might be.
I don't. You know what? I try to grow it back here and there, but it's just it's time to share. Anyhow.
Hey, I showed you mine.
Yeah.
What you do? Show me yours.
You gotta go back. You gotta shave it down. All right. Anyhow, let's get back to the Italian team. I think I called your show last week, and I said it. They're in transition. They're not expected to do anything. The top teams are the top teams who they are. We'll go through the rankings in a few minutes, the FIFA rankings, which I don't think mean anything, to be honest with you. So the World Cup, as it stands now, we went through this again. Group A, Brazil is favored to come out of it with Mexico. You agree? Out of Croatia and Cameroon. I don't think it's going to be easy for the other three teams, but I definitely do see Brazil coming out of it, and it'll be a dogfight with the other three, but I think Mexico is going to come out on top. Spain, Group B, Spain and the Netherlands coming out of Group B, right?
Agreed.
Okay. Group C, we got Ivory Coast. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say this whole group, man, this whole group is a toss-up.
Yeah.
There's like Colombia, Greece, Ivory Coast, and Japan. I'm going to say Greece for their past play, but that doesn't really help them now. And I'm going to give him Colombia only because, I don't know why I'm doing it, but FIFA's ranking them really high right now. I haven't seen Colombia play in a while. So Group D, we're going to go the Italians, England. This is a tough. Costa Rica and Uruguay. Uruguay finished top 3 in last year's tournament in Brazil. I got to say England. I'm going to go out. You know what? I'm going to say Uruguay and Italy. That's a tough group. It's not easy. It really is not easy because England could easily make it through too. All right. Group B, Switzerland, Ecuador, France, and Honduras.
France?
Well, France is in rebuilding stage also. No, they're rebuilding, not transition. Rebuilding is different, I think, right? Because they really just all their players are like young. All right, I'm gonna go. I think we could say France. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, it's another tough one.
Yeah.
Over there.
Oh yeah, this is all right. Brian's playing around with the photos here. This one here looks like it could be one of our U5s, like early. This was like one of the beginnings, right? The beginning. Yeah.
It's the first season.
Gabriella there. You got Lauren. You got Ellie.
I see Macy all the way
I
next to
see, and
Ellie.
then I can't see the rest. Oh, there we go. All right. Yeah, thank you, Brian, for that.
There's me.
Let's try.
Double shot.
There goes Frankie with no hair or shaved head. All right, Group F, Argentina, Bosnia. Okay, I'm going to go Argentina, Iran, and Nigeria. I'm going to go Argentina and Nigeria. The Nigerians are they're a pretty good club there, so I'm going to pick them. Germany, Portugal, Ghana, USA. I'm sorry to say, but USA will not make it out of the group. Germany,
Portugal.
that's the easy bet, but watch out for Ghana. Ghana could sneak up on you. And there's Gabriella with the shot. Yeah, good shot there. The ball's in midair. Okay, Group H, last. Then this is obviously after a goal, and this is what I love most seeing, from our team. After they scored a goal, they embraced each other. And this is really, for me, that's what it was all about. Everything that the time, sweat, and everything was all worth it seeing that. Okay, Group H, Belgium, Algeria, Russia. Let me say something about the Russian team.
I thought you were going to say something about the country.
I could say something about Russia, right? The Russian team, boy, I hope they're not led by their president. Because, it's just going to be a tough go because I don't see them making that out of the group.
Good.
What is he going to do when the Russians are 3 and done, like 1 and done? They're 3 and done, and they're going back home. So we're not picking the Russians to come out of the group. Belgium is very tough. They're a tough team. Belgium, and let's go with Korea Republic to come out of there. All right, we're going to hold on to these until after the World Cup, and we'll see how good our picks are. All right, Serie A, right, in Italy, the Italian Division 1. As usual, Frank, Juventus is just coasting along. We spoke about a few minutes ago. Pirlo is he scored. one of the classic free kick goals to win the game 1-0. All right, against I think it was Genoa. And they lead the way with 75 points. Roma second with 61.
Yeah, they kind of.
I think there's about 6 games to go. You know, I mean, Juventus, I don't see them falling on their face. But if that's the only way that Roma's going to take the division, if they end up getting no points the rest of the way. So, really, congratulations to Juve for another great season. And again, Buffon is leading the way in goal there. He's their goalie, you know, and he's going to be playing for this team for years to come. But unfortunately, with the national team, his time is just about up. Hopefully, he's got another World Cup in him before he goes. Yeah, we got about 6 to go. Brian's giving me the fingers up there. All right, you know, great season by Roma. You know, listen, there's nothing to be shameful. You're 61 points. Napoli's also having another good season. The Napolitans, you know. Fiorentina up and coming. Okay, if you look back throughout the season, they were down below, so they're in fourth. They're in the 4th spot. But look at the 4th, 5th, like 4th through 7, I think. Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of tight. Actually, you know what? You can even go to 8. You can go to 8. Hellas Verona is a no-name team, and they're. You know, if they go on any kind of run, because you don't forget, you get 3 points for a win. You know, and if you're playing any of these teams ahead of you, you can make a big leap over them. So, the bottom 3 teams that look like they're going to get relegated back to Serie B, you know, Catania, Bologna, Livigno, maybe. You know, we'll see how it goes there because they're all tight here. The bottom 3 they get demoted, and the top 3 from B come to A. So that'll wrap up Serie A, right? I think we're pretty much, that season's almost over. Now, we got a few minutes to go. We'll talk about the MLS. They've played 2 games already. It's real early in the MLS season. The Red Bull, we're going to pick on them as always. They came back. They tied a game at their home opener was a tie. Again, it's better than a loss. But you gotta win these games at home. You gotta come out of the gate at home and win. These points are gonna hurt them at the end of the season. They haven't signed anybody big, any big name players. All right, Houston's 2-0. I mean, if they could do it, why can't The Red Bull lost last week. I think it was to Vancouver. Yeah, they opened the season in Vancouver and they lost out there. They're only a second-year team, you know. Yeah. You can't lose to teams like that. So anyhow, MLS just kicked off a couple of weeks. Really not much to talk about. I mean, you got Houston leading the way in the East, 2-0. In the Western, everyone's tied up with 1-1 records. Vancouver, Real Salt Lake, Chivas. And I expect, the LA Galaxy, they only played 1 game and they lost it. But I expect them. You know what? This league is going to take a hit when the World Cup comes around.
Yeah.
Because all the players are going to be, all the top players from these teams are going to be in Brazil. Yeah. So, again, I don't like it. I think you shut it down.
Yeah.
NHL did it for the Olympics. You can't. How do you play a league when your top players are not there? How do you continue to play? Yeah. I'm not going to see nobody. I'm not going to a Red Bull game if my best players are not there. Yeah. So again, big mistake by.
On top of obviously the attendance reasons.
Yeah.
Just the fact that
it's horrible.
It's
bad. It's a bad mix all the way around.
It screws around with the records of the team and gives.
Real quick,
teams, I guess, false hope.
Real quick, Frank. We got a couple minutes. I know it does give it. It's just bad all around. You agree?
Yeah.
You can't
absolutely.
take the best players off the Mets and play. Send them to a World Cup.
You probably still.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have best players, right? Okay. Let's get to the rankings real quick. We're not gonna, and then we're gonna talk about the Knicks. We're gonna end the show with the Knicks. Your favorite topic.
Yeah.
And if he's watching, my buddy, his favorite topic too. Okay, Spain. All right, I agree with Spain being ranked. This is the FIFA rankings, right, for soccer. I do not agree with some of them. But I do agree with Spain being number one. I could deal with Germany being two. I could deal with Argentina. I don't agree with Portugal. What have they done? Where are they getting these points from? Where? Again, I don't agree with Colombia. Do not agree with them being number 5 in the world. Colombia. That's why I picked them in the group. I went by this, but really, what have they done? Uruguay, okay, you could see that they moved up. They got the green arrow. They came up. Switzerland doesn't belong at 7. We'll go to top. We'll go up to the U.S. Italy stayed put. I think they're okay at 8. Brazil is at 9. Brazil, the host of the World Cup, they're ranked number 9.
Yeah.
USA is down at 14. I think a couple of weeks ago they were ranked 12. Now they dropped down. And the U.S. that 14 might be pretty. That looks really good for them.
Yeah.
Because if I was ranking them, they'd probably be number 30.
Either that or 31.
Yeah. Right off the chart altogether. So, you know what? I think we did a pretty good job. Thank you to Gabriella for calling, the star of the Richmond Town Rush, and hopefully the Lightning. I want to wrap up, Frankie. We had a big press conference here in New York today, Madison Square Garden. The announcement of one Phil Jackson coming to save the Knicks, supposedly. You know, they made a big deal. Mr. Dolan said, 13 rings and this and, okay, fine. He's got 13 rings. He hasn't done it. Like the 2 rings that he played, one season he was hurt. He didn't even play for the Knicks the year that they won. And he did earn one. Earning it meaning you played during the season.
Yeah.
Okay, but one season he had bad back. And then the other 11 were from the teams that killed you, meaning the Knicks. Jordan, and then anytime you played the Lakers when they were great, you'd never beat the Lakers. So what is that going to do for the Knicks that he's here now when his health is in question, number one? He's got really, right? He's bad with the health. And I think, we spoke about this off the air. For me, and I'll end it on this note, it's all Dolan speaking about selling tickets. Phil Jackson is a big sell, is a name. Do you think he can fix the Knicks in 5 years? I don't think he can. And I'll end it that.
I think anybody could be fixed in 5 years if they, put the right parts in place. Is it just are people counting Jackson to be on the floor? Because if that's the case,
he's not going to be on the floor.
It's not going to happen.
No way.
Is it just too late?
Yeah.
Is this just like nostalgia?
Right.
Bringing one of your old guys back that you've talked about bringing back for years? Is it going to be like the Jets with Brett Favre, bringing him in 18 years after they were supposed to draft him?
Way past his prime.
Just kind of...
Well, he's never done this job also. So,
well, that's another big factor.
That's for a different show anyway. Hopefully Jamie and the Bleachers will have a lot more to say on that on Monday. But anyhow, Frank, once again, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for the viewers. And I don't hear the song yet, but I hope Brian will play the song, which is the Giorgio Kinaya theme song, to end the show. But again, we just got to keep going forward. We'll see you guys back on April 1st for our next live show. We do have a special coming up. We'll keep you guys posted on that. And signing off from the studios of CTV. See you guys soon. Oh, we do have one more.
Gotta make the game on time. All week long, gotta train, 'cause I'm better than the rest. All